Anyway, thank you.
So, okay, so in my case, we were also talking before, this answer changes over the years, it changes from day to day even. And when I started Aikido, for sure there was this kind of, let's say, a certain insecurity within myself. That was the motivation that drove me, partly. Another part was this kind of comic book fantasy. You know, I grew up with Bruce Lee movies, and I wanted to kind of be that. And then another part was some form of mastery. I was looking for some form of mastery. But back then, the main motivation was for sure insecurity. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years that I actually uncovered, you know, that insecurity was driving me through the whole process. And seeing that was very important, you know, because then it gave me the opportunity to kind of put that in my awareness and begin to work through that as part of my developmental process in Aikido. But today, if I were to, you know, so there was a little boy that wanted to do Aikido for different reasons back then. Jan and I had spoken about this before. In fact, the first time I met Jan, we spoke about this. And but today it's very different. You know, when I was a kid, sure, I read Aikido. Sensei said Aikido is love. I was like, wow, that sounds cool. But as a kid, I couldn't connect with that really, even though I liked the idea. And it's beautiful to hear both Patrick and Jan kind of touch on that. And for me, what it is, you know, I've been a student, or more recently a teacher in something my whole life, without gaps. So just, you know, I've always been in one of those processes. And there's something about that process that's very very rewarding. It's very difficult, you know, but it's very rewarding. And you know, I just had a child, and so I used to use the metaphor of a mother or a father and a child. A child that can't quite, they're still toddlers, they're still young, and they can maybe stand up, but they're still kind of, you know, a baby. And you know, the baby has a hard time, and it starts crying. The mother or the father comes, and it reaches up for the mother. And in a developmental moment, you know, with the wisdom of a mother, you know, instead of just picking up the child, it might just, in one moment, kind of hold back. You know, it'll reach down, but it won't fully reach down. It'll make the baby kind of stretch a little bit more before it kind of, you know, supports it. And it's like in that between the grips, right there, in that zone, that's kind of a developmental zone. And it's the best place to be. It's full of fear, it's full of insecurity, it's full of potential, and it's one of the most satisfying, wow, I'm getting emotional about it. It's really one of the most satisfying experiences for me. Whether I'm on the reaching up side, you know, or the reaching down side. And I would definitely define that zone as love, for sure. And that's kind of what drives me. Sorry.
Good. Hello. Good grief.